Welcome to Crit to Block, your home for learning how to play Star Wars Legion version 2.6. Today we are going to be discussing cover and best practices for defining cover at the beginning of the game. Defining cover should be the first thing opponents do when playing a game of Star Wars Legion, after introducing themselves. Cover has three different categories to be defined within. First is the type of cover the terrain provides: open or no cover, light or cover 1, or dense or heavy, which is cover 2. Second is the movement alteration the terrain provides: open or no movement modification, dense, which slows units' speed value by 1 to a minimum of 1, or impassable, which cannot be moved through unless a unit has a keyword allowing it, such as jump, which allows you to move through the terrain if you move completely to the other side and do not land on it. Finally, the type of terrain is defined as either area, usually in the form of a template on the field, such as a forest, scatter, such as boxes and crates, or obstacles, such as buildings. This base for how to define terrain allows for different combinations. Terrain features can be area, dense, light, allowing for a terrain feature that reduces speed and provides cover 1 in an area, or obstacle, heavy, open, such as a building, providing cover. It should be noted that terrain can be defined differently for different unit types. What might be difficult terrain for troopers might be treated as open terrain for ground vehicles. If a building is defined as open terrain, for example, vehicles like the ATST would be able to step over them without reducing its speed. Let's take a look at a few examples of terrain and how they might be defined by players. In this setup, we have some crates that might be defined as scatter terrain, open and providing light cover. Typically, when defining scatter terrain, it is treated as open, providing no movement penalty, and light, providing cover 1. Scatter terrain is typically boxes, crates, bushes, or other incidental pieces of terrain added to boards. In this example, we have a rocky hill with some fortifications on it. Players might define something like this as area, difficult, and heavy, so that troopers that are at least partially touching the template of the terrain would receive heavy cover, but would reduce their speed when moving through it. A reminder that area terrain has an invisible cylinder that rises up to height 1 above it, so that if a ranged attack is performed that crosses the area terrain, and the defending unit is within a half stick of the piece of terrain, they would receive whatever cover that terrain provides. In this final example, we have several pieces of obstacle terrain. The rock pieces might be defined as obstacle, heavy, difficult, so that models receiving cover from the rocks have heavy cover, but need to reduce their speed to move over it. The log might also be defined as obstacle terrain, but may only provide light cover while still being treated as difficult terrain. A few final reminders. If ending movement on obstacle terrain, a model's base may not overhang the obstacle terrain, but must sit flat on the piece of terrain. Talk with your opponent and make sure you define terrain before any other turn 0 actions are taken. Thank you for watching our Learn to Play series for Star Wars Legion version 2.6. Come back next time for more how-to videos.